You know what's truly interesting about highly intelligent people? They rarely look the way we expect them to. We often imagine someone with a very high IQ as obviously brilliant, constantly speaking, solving complex problems out loud, or eagerly showing off their knowledge. But psychology research suggests something quite different. Many people with extremely high intelligence actually display subtle behavioral patterns that don't always look like intelligence at first glance. In fact, cognitive psychologists often say that intelligence is less about what you know and more about how your brain processes the world around you. And that processing tends to show up through certain quiet, everyday habits. Here are 10 surprisingly common habits often found in people with very high IQ. The first is spending a significant amount of time alone. Highly intelligent people are often deeply comfortable with solitude, not because they dislike others, but because their brains are constantly processing ideas. Solitude gives the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, reflection, and complex thinking, the space it needs to function. Research from the London School of Economics even found that highly intelligent individuals tend to feel less satisfied with frequent social interaction compared to others. Their brains simply crave quiet, uninterrupted thinking time. The second habit is constant curiosity. People with high IQs tend to ask questions about almost everything around them, not just big philosophical questions, but small everyday ones too. Why do people behave this particular way? Why does this system work like that? Their brain naturally and relentlessly searches for patterns. Curiosity becomes a kind of powerful mental engine. The third habit is talking to themselves. This might sound unusual, but psychologists refer to it as self-directed speech. Studies clearly show that talking to yourself can improve focus and cognitive control. It helps the brain organize thoughts and strengthen working memory. So, when you notice someone quietly narrating their own thinking process, it may actually be a visible sign of a highly active cognitive system at work. The fourth habit is being genuinely comfortable saying, "I don't know." People with very high intelligence often have a deep understanding of the limits of their own knowledge. In psychology, this connects to something called the Dunning-Kruger effect, the tendency for less knowledgeable people to significantly overestimate what they actually know. Highly intelligent individuals frequently do the opposite. They remain acutely aware of how much complexity truly exists in the world. The fifth habit is overthinking even small things. An analytical brain rarely fully switches off. The same cognitive processes that help solve complex problems can also lead to deeply analyzing conversations, decisions, or possibilities in considerable detail. Sometimes this behavior looks like indecision from the outside, but internally, it's a brain actively exploring multiple mental models simultaneously. The sixth habit is a notably strong sense of humor. Interestingly, humor requires genuinely complex cognitive processing. To understand or create humor, the brain must recognize patterns, break existing expectations, and connect seemingly unrelated ideas in unexpected ways. Studies published in intelligence research journals have shown a measurable correlation between higher IQ and more advanced humor processing abilities. The seventh habit is willingness to change their minds when presented with new evidence. Highly intelligent people tend to treat their beliefs as flexible mental models rather than fixed parts of their identity. When fresh information appears, their brain naturally updates the model. In psychology, this ability is closely linked to cognitive flexibility, which is considered a key marker of advanced problem-solving capacity. Now consider this for a moment. How often do we misinterpret these behaviors entirely? Someone who spends considerable time alone may appear antisocial. Someone who consistently asks many questions may seem overly skeptical. Someone who regularly changes their mind may seem uncertain or unreliable, but sometimes these are actually clear signs of much deeper thinking patterns operating beneath the surface. The eighth habit is late-night thinking. Many high IQ individuals report feeling significantly more mentally active during the late hours of the night. Some researchers connect this pattern with evolutionary psychology, suggesting that individuals with higher cognitive flexibility adapt more naturally to non-traditional rhythms like staying mentally sharp well past midnight. The ninth habit is observing far more than speaking. Rather than immediately responding in conversations, Highly intelligent people often watch social dynamics unfold first. They gather information carefully, analyze emotional cues, and then respond in a more thoughtful and considered manner. This strongly reflects advanced pattern recognition in social behavior. And finally, the 10th habit is a persistent search for deeper meaning. High intelligence often comes paired with an increased awareness of complexity in society, relationships, and human behavior as a whole. This can lead to profound reflection about purpose, identity, and how people make sense of their lives. It's not always dramatic or overtly philosophical. Sometimes it's just a quiet, persistent question living in the back of the mind. Why do we think the way we do? And perhaps that's the most genuinely interesting part of intelligence. It's not simply about solving equations or memorizing facts. At its core, intelligence is really about curiosity, a brain that keeps exploring patterns, questioning long-held assumptions, and continuously trying to understand the strange and endlessly fascinating puzzle of human nature.